Hello there, welcome to another video here on this Esoteric Circle YouTube channel. I am Pete Haskins, and we're going to be talking about conspiracy theories. What are we supposed to do with all these crazy conspiracy theories, right? I mean, we're talking about stuff like, where they're putting cat litter boxes in bathrooms and schools and just crazy stuff. What are we supposed to do with all this stuff when we're trying to have a spiritual awakening? How do we sort through all this stuff? So let's talk about it. It's crazy stuff. Yeah, we're not going to talk about the politics of it. We're not going to talk about the right and wrong. We're not going to talk about anything other than what are we supposed to do with this. You have two choices. Or do we? The first choice is this. You can completely ignore it and do your thing and just go about your business and just take care of you, right? You can just put your head in the sand and you can just say, this is my spiritual awakening. I'm going to just take care of myself. They can just go crazy, right? Or you can start to dive in to those rabbit holes, right? You can start to get into there and you could say, oh, I wonder if fluoride is a neurotoxin, or I wonder if those litter boxes, if that's true, or I wonder if the jet trails are full of some type of neurotoxin, mind control chemical that is controlling us, and just go on and on and on and on and on. You could dive deeply into all that stuff and chase them and get into conspiracies about, the Masons, or about the Illuminati, or about Hollywood, or whatever it is. And you can do it. And you can just go for it and say, I'm researching it on the internet and all that. I think both of them are wrong. I think what you need to do is this. You need to figure out a way to discern what is true. Let's talk about that. At one of the retreats that I was at with Robin Amos, he said that, we have to begin to sort out what is ours and what is not ours in our minds, our thoughts, right? And you have to begin to discern this truth. You have to begin to discern what is right and what is wrong. And the way you do that discernment process is the key to this. The way you do this is so important for your spiritual development and your spiritual awakening. You cannot make any progress if you're hiding away, because you can't just hide away from the pain and suffering and the chaos and the loss of freedom that's going on in the world. But also you can't just dive in at everything and just get involved with this, because so much of that is based on fear. You have fears about being taken care of. You have fears about the state taking care of you. You have fears about the church taking care of you. You have fears about God taking care of you, right? You have to learn how to discern these messages that are out there. And how do you do that? Charles Ashton said, prayer teaches prayer. If you do not have a spiritual discipline, a time in your day that you do that, if you do not have a place in your home that you pray and you have holy ground, you're going to go nowhere. You're going to be pulled this way and that way. You can't hide from the world, but at the same time, you can't jump at everything. You need a place and a time where you go and you sort out what's yours and what is not yours. And when you begin to hear these theories, you use the Jesus prayer and you say, Lord Jesus Christ, Son of God, have mercy on me, a sinner. And you begin to think about those. It's called constatation. You let it settle in. Robin would do that. He would just, before he spoke, he would pause. And he was praying. He was praying. He was using the Jesus prayer. He was getting in his cage, his magnetic center, and having all of his little eyes, right, as Moraviev would say, 987 of them, all swirling around, he would magnetize those, get into his cage, his magnetic center, and be able to look out on all this chaos and be able to figure out what was right, what was wrong, what was his, what wasn't. Other people are thinking for you, and you've got to watch that. The media can be thinking for you. The social media can be thinking for you. TikTok can be thinking for you. You could be just being trained like an animal to go after emotions here and there, and you're driven by other forces. And you're being driven by other forces, whether those forces are fear, whether those are these made-up facts from a lot of these conspiracy theories, just created in order to get views, just created in order to get money, just created in order to get power. And before you know it, everything is just this big game, and you're a part of this game. And you need to be separated from that game. So, how is it with you? Do you have a time that you pray? Do you have a place that you pray? And how are you praying? Praying is not about talking. Praying is about listening. You know, this is the narrow gate. This is the narrow gate. And this is serious stuff. This is not just for everyone, because most people want to be asleep. They don't want to think about this. They want to put their head in the sand, or they just want to jump after everything in order to feel like they're included in a group with this tribal nature. But you, if you're serious about this esoteric stuff and you feel like you're awakening, you've got to take this stuff seriously, and you've got to dive deeply. Calm your mind once a day. Take time and meditate. Use the Jesus prayer. Lord Jesus Christ, Son of God, have mercy on me, a sinner. And begin to examine the day. Begin to examine these things. And constitution should be a huge part of how you do this. Take a conspiracy theory. Take some of these ideas. Think about them. You think about them. Let your own magnetic center begin to help you form this. And you can see through all this. And then your thoughts are your thoughts. They're not someone else's, right? They're not someone else's. They're not Alex Jones's. They're not Donald Trump's. They're not Nancy Pelosi's. Or whomever it is, right? It's not your school board. It's not Ron DeSantis. They're your thoughts. What do you think? You need to have independence of thought. You need to be able to think for yourself. You need to have space, sacred space. So you have time, you have a place, a physical place in your house, but then you got to get that space up here, and you got to get all the clutter out, right? Get all the clutter out of there. This is serious stuff, and as Jesus said in the Sermon on the Mount, narrow is the gate, and you have to learn to listen. You have to learn how to listen. And you have to learn how to discern what is yours and what is not yours. Because not everything that's going on in your head is yours. Blessings to you, wherever you're at on this journey. We are with you. I am with you. And I'm just so glad that you're here on this channel. And if there's any questions, anything that you need, just let me know here in the comments. And if you're interested in a really solid group of people that are meeting online, just let me know, and we'll get you connected. So blessings to you, and I'll see you soon. Hello there, welcome to another video here on this Esoteric Circle, a YouTube channel. YouTube channel.